So honestly, I could probably go on for days about how much I hate my job and how much I hate working with social anxiety. But I decided that we're not going to do that because that would be entirely too easy and too ranty, I believe. So we're going to go on the opposite side, and I'm going to say 2 reasons why it's a good thing to work with social anxiety. Because that's about all I could come up with, at least for myself. So the first good thing about having a job is having somewhere to go on most days. When I wasn't working, there would be days at a time where I wouldn't leave the house or even step outside of the door. And I'm sure I don't need to tell you why that is very bad for your physical and mental health. Having a job kind of kills all chances of you staying in bed and in the house all day long. Now, I'm not saying that this was a completely easy thing to do, to make myself get up and go to a job that I don't particularly like. But I didn't really have much of a choice unless I wanted to live on the streets. But regardless of my reasoning, having a job did force me to leave the house and go outdoors, which, as anyone can tell you, is definitely a help for anxiety and depression. The second good thing about having a job is the daily social interaction. When I didn't have a job, some days I wouldn't leave my room at all, and I would barely speak to anyone even living in the same house as me. As you can imagine, that is not a very healthy way to live. Humans are generally very social creatures, and even if socializing gives me major anxiety, it's still not healthy to not socialize ever, which is pretty much what I would have done. Do I still get anxious at work when I have to speak to customers? Absolutely. When I see customers, I just repeat in my head, please don't come to me. Please do not come to me. And that's whether I've known them or not. This is whether on the first name basis or not. I just don't want to deal with people. But the truth is that it does get easier with each day with the daily social interactions. But that's not to say that it gets easier in other situations. So for example, if I'm working behind a desk, having the customers come up to me daily and ask me questions and have to check them out and do stuff for them behind the desk only makes it easier to work behind the desk. It does not make it easier in any other situation. I could literally come from behind the desk and a customer could come up to me and it'll be just as hard as if it was my first day ever in the entire store. The situations that I get used to are only the situations I get used to, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't make it easier in any other portion of my life. It makes it easier for just that one little instance. But I'm still going to count it as a good because it does make it easier if you're doing the same thing over and over. Like, for instance, I hate making phone calls. I absolutely hate it. But while I'm at work, it is a must. I have to do phone sales almost constantly. So it's easier to make these phone calls while I'm at work behind the desk dealing with customers in these certain situations. If I have to call regarding something else that's not something that I call for every day, I'm just as anxious as if I've never done it before in my life. So that's a little tidbit. But yes, those were the 2 reasons that I could find that I think makes working with social anxiety good. If I can think of any other reasons, I might do another one of these, but for right now, that's about all I have, so that's about all you're gonna get. But I still felt like it was important to at least give some positivity when working with social anxiety. But that's all I have to say, and I had fun doing this week's drawing, and see you Friday. Bye! Also, I've been kind of thinking about doing a series of like mental health drawings and maybe doing some background information on the specific mental illness that I'm illustrating. I think I'm going to do that soon. Might start that. Maybe a weekly mental health Monday type of video. Thinking about it. We'll see. Bye.